Hello everyone and welcome to this physics session. In this session, I would like to explain the provisions of subclass 20.2 up to 20.6, the provisions of which are incorporated in Yellow Book published in 1999, and it is the first. It should be noted that in 1999, FIDIC, in addition to Yellow Book, published red, silver, green, and gold. The red and silver, they do have provisions for dispute adjudication board, which from now on we will use its acronym as DUB. I have collected all the FIDIC publications and in the form of overview, the titles and also the editions with descriptions and some notes have been provided and are already uploaded in YouTube. However, before explaining the subclasses that I already mentioned, I would like to go over subclass 20.1, which is contractor's claim. If during the execution of works, the contractor faces with some problems or impediments which hinder him to execute its works, then he should, within 28 days, send a notice to employer and engineer. If the engineer cannot settle the contractor's dispute with employer, then it should be referred to. The parties shall jointly appoint a DUB by the date 28 days after that a party gives notice to the other party of its intention to refer a dispute to the DUB in accordance with subclass 20.4 entitled Obtaining DUB's Decision. However, if a list of members is already given in the contract, then the members shall be selected from that list other than any one who is unwilling or disabled to accept appointment of the. Each party is responsible for paying 1/2 of the remuneration. The DUB is two types, ad hoc and standing. As for the ad hoc, whenever the circumstances necessitate that the educators would come to site to settle the dispute, then they will call on them. However, as for standing is for a longer period, 1 year or 2 years, or maybe from the beginning up to the end of the project, the appointment would be made. The combination of 3 members is recommended to be 1 legal expert, 2 engineers, one of whom shall have long experience and the other one shall have long experience in similar projects. In connection with nomination and appointment of the DAP's members, maybe one of these conditions apply. A. The parties fail to agree upon the sole member by the date already stated for setting up a DAP. B. Either party fails to nominate a member for the approval of other member by such a date. C. The parties fail to agree upon the third member which shall act as the chairman by the date already. D. The parties fail to agree upon the appointment of a replacement within 42 days after a date on which a sole member or one of three members declines to act or is unable to act as a result of death, disability, resignation, or termination of his agreement. The agreement, I mean the dispute adjudication board agreement, which I have already explained that. Subclause 20.4, obtaining DAP's decision. If during the execution of works any dispute of any kind whatsoever arises between the parties in connection with the certificate, instruction, opinion, or evaluation of the engineer, either party may send the reference to the DAP, a copy to the other party, and the engineer. The DAP shall make its decision according to the provisions which will be. If either party is dissatisfied with DAP's decision, then within 28 days after receiving DAP's decision, may send a notice to the DAP and also to the other party of its dissatisfaction. Of course, it should be reasoned too. Whereas if within 28 days none of the parties would send a notice of dissatisfaction, it can be concluded that the DAP's decision have been approved by both parties and it is final and binding upon both parties. If the DAP fails to give its decision within 84 days or as otherwise approved after receiving such reference or such payment, then either party may give its notice of dissatisfaction when this period has expired. Subclause 20.5. As I stated, if despite DAP's decision, still one of the party is dissatisfied with DAB's decision, then it may refer to the arbitration. However, before going to arbitration, they should hold a meeting and try their best to settle their dispute amicably. The cost of arbitration is much more expensive than DAB. The cost of DAB is about 3% of contract price. Of course, ad hoc is cheaper than standing DAB. Whereas the cost of arbitration is about 15%. But as I reiterated, the arbitrators require the DAB's decisions, and in some of the countries like England, and the arbitration or court needs the DAB's decision. So it's very important and it's very useful for projects. Thank you, and I hope it has been fruitful for you. Next time I will go over the dispute adjudication board agreement. Thank you.